Greetings, ladies and gentle players. Here's a bit of an unusual video for you. I've got something coming at you called the Conquest of Go. It just, as we can see here on the Steam, just released the other day. It is in early access, so I want to preface that now. Well, everything we're going to say here, if you're looking at this video in the future, subject to change. This is early access, which means kind of alpha or beta, depending on the program or game in question. And so yeah, things could change between now and in the future when you're looking at this video. But at the moment, at time of recording, let's take a look at what this game is. What is the Conquest of Go? And answer the question, is this for us at a probably back to a $15 price tag, which you might be seeing if you are choosing to purchase it. So what the Conquest of Go is, essentially it is a program in which you can play online. You can play against the AI. It's trying to be like a jack of all trades kind of program. You can like review your games with the AI. You can have fun in a silly little campaign. You can go online to play. When you go online to play, it's gonna take you to OGS, where you can play people on OGS. So if you want to, but if you're buying this because you like the textures you're about to see, and you want to play online, you're gonna be hooked into OGS, which is an existing server with existing players, so you should be able to get games as long as OGS is a server that does not die. So great, fantastic. And if you want, you can just go and watch games. That's also cool, fantastic. Now, one selling point for this game, a couple of things. AI, obviously. You can customize the crap out of this. Max number of visits, I guess it depends on your hardware. I mean, mine's pretty tough, so I could probably go ahead and max the crap out of that. Minimum move delay, mouse hover duration, display move rank. I'm actually not sure what this is. Display win percentage. Sure, display win percentage. Display score change, visit count. Interesting. Analysis AI by Go. Sweet, great. Now there are audio settings. I have disabled music for the sake of this video. The music is pretty good, but music and content creation is a sketchy thing. I don't know the exacts on where the guy got the music for this, and I just don't want to take any chances, so the music is off. But trust me, it's not bad. And then you've got graphics. Now here is something that's actually going to be turning into a very, very important point to go over if we get the game for ourselves. But more on that later. More on that later. Anything else? Anything else? Anything else? Here's something I've actually never seen before. Line thickness is fascinating to me. Like, I've never really seen boards that allow you to customize the thickness of the lines. We'll take a look at that in a minute too. And coordinate sizes. So it's got a lot of cool things going for it. But let's see what it means. Like, what does all of this preferred theme mean and stuff and things? Let's go ahead and take a look at some of this. So first and foremost, start at the beginning. Under Quick Play, we have an option for tutorials. In the tutorials, we can literally learn how to play the game. We can learn about the basics, the liberties, counting liberties, what a capture is, ladders, things like that. What's co, what's net, what are snapbacks, bamboo joints, seki, all those fun things we always teach beginners. So right away, might be a cool thing to get a beginner, learn how to play the game. I do wish the tutorial wasn't under Quick Play. That's a little bit weird because that's a tutorial. I think they could probably make that a little bit less ambiguous. Right away, I will say one of my greatest gripes with this game is things aren't really as obvious as they probably ought to be. Like if I'm sitting down as a new player and I want to learn how to play the game. Well, where in the bloody crap do I learn how to do that? I would think it'd be in extras. But that's not really where you learn. That's not where the tutorial system is. It's in Quick Play. So that's a little bit ambiguous, and they need to find some way to change that a little bit. Because if I am getting this for a new player, and they might not know there's a tutorial system in here. Possible. It's hidden under Quick Play, so meh. It does launch the first time you open the game. But what if you're... But I can think of a couple of reasons why you might be able to miss that, right? You might be able to miss that, and A little bit awkward, a little bit awkward. The campaign is one of the largest selling points for this. When we do have a campaign, we can have a lot of options on what we're playing against in the campaign. Do we want to play against Go? Do we want to play against Mr. Ganui or a hybrid? Like, what do we want to play against? We can determine the range of board sizes that we're going to play against, either some or no 9x9s, some or no 13x13s, some or no 19x19, so we can have nice flexibility there. Do we want handicap? Absolutely not, thank you. AI strength, we can go ahead and crank that up to 10, sure, why not? And then start a game. It loads a screen that you don't expect to associate with Go, and instead you associate it more with something along the lines of civilization or risk. But you are essentially going to be fighting over areas of this world that we have here. Now, right away, I can kind of think about a multiplayer aspect to this that is a shame they don't have. Like, two players who play against each other a lot, maybe similar strength. It'd be kind of cool if they were fighting each other over control, over who has more area. I could see that being a kind of a cool tie-in to this. And it's a shame they don't have it. That is a thing that I would definitely recommend as being a feature to consider. Because, I mean, some of you, especially during the COVID times, you can't play the usual people that you're playing online, right? So maybe there's someone at Go Club that you always play against. Playing against them for control of the world, that would be kind of cool. I could totally dig that. You know, it's a neat little feature that could be added in. I hope they do. Unfortunately, at the time of recording, doesn't exist. So let's say we're going to go and fight over this area. We start match, like so. It loads the game. Now immediately, this right here is probably making your eyes bleed. I'm not a fan of this theme at all. It does have multiple themes. It's got the ice one, the desert one, a traditional wood one, a forest one, and a plains one. I guess this is plains, right? I guess it's plains. And then the one that's a little bit too glaring for me. So let's go to this one, the forest one. Now, a couple of things I do like. The thump for the stone, I do like it. Because it's going for a theme of, like, castles and rock. So, yeah, that thump of, like, stone being placed on earth. Cool, I like it. Nice little, a bit of polish there. I'll take it. Now, we are playing U.S Go. And we're going to advance this game to here. As you can see, it has a marker on your last play, little red dot. Okay, cool. It also, as you can see here, hurts your stone. It changes the texture of the stone that's in Atari. That's cool. That's a neat little thing. Take them off. Oh, you did that one. Okay, darn. I thought U.S Go would be dumb and take the stones. Unfortunate, but okay. I'm going to go ahead and play a dumb move here. Just to show you. U.S Go! U.S Go! Please go back and take the stone, U.S Go! Okay, thank you. So when you take the stone, as you can see here, there's little crumbly bits left behind. Again, nice little bit of polish. I do like that. I do like that indeed. Was it my turn? Okay. Now, that said, there are a few things with the textures that I'm not particularly a fan of. I think there needs to be a larger contrast between the black and the white stone, especially as you get larger and larger in terms of resolution, because you really start noticing these gray bits on the white stones and the gray bits on the black stones. And it becomes kind of, it's not impossible, but it's a little bit more difficult to determine what's going on the board compared to something like this, which is nice, neat, and clean. Like, at a count, you know how many liberties this has. At a count, you know immediately, like, those are an Atari. Because of the contrast between the white and the black stones, your eye distinguishes what's going on, what's separating what, just like that. It's a little bit difficult with these low contrast stones. So I think one thing they need to do in early access is work on that. Definitely need a higher contrast between these textures, because it can be, especially for a new player who hasn't seen this stuff before, it's going to make it even more difficult for them to get a sense of how to play this game, keep tracking of what's going on a 19 by 19 as the board is getting more and more cluttered, and it becomes more and more difficult to distinguish between, like, even on like a standard high contrast game like this, it can be difficult for new players and some veteran players to really keep track of what's going on and what's separating what, and like where ladders are going and how many liberties does this have? Is that an Atari? Does this have my eyes? Like blah 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 blah. Gets even doubly so when, you know, you start having these low contrast stones like this. So that said, I'm obviously not going to sit here and play out the rest of this game. Let's go ahead and jump to the end so we can talk about what happens after you're done playing, just as soon as I do one last thing. The abilities over on left-hand screen, I almost forgot about. If I was curious about the score, this is where the resources come in. You've got wood, wheat, stone, and gold. And I could be like, hey, what's the score? For 50 wheat, it calculates the score for me. Now, I don't know where the number is for it, but there's the score. I don't think it has a number for it. Yeah, I'm not sure why there's like a score estimator button as to where the territory is coming from when I can't actually see the bloody numbers. But okay, it highlighted that for whatever that's worth. I'm like, okay, well, I don't like that. Where is the next best move for me? For 75 wheat and 25 gold, I can figure out, hey, best move right over there. Okay, it looks like we've got, and it has percentages. All right, got a really good move here. I can go ahead and play it. And it costs me the resources. Now, obviously, it's up your resources. You have to get those resources back somehow. Talk about that in a minute. I think that's a cute little feature for like just a diverse AI campaign thing if you're trying to learn how to play. And if you don't like where you went and played because you didn't like the answer, you can undo for 100 stone and 25 wood. And then maybe go back and get a suggested move instead. Maybe for learning purposes, that can be good. I would like them to put in a warning. Because again, we got to think about new players who might also be coming to Go because they found this maybe on Steam or something. They learned, they did the tutorial, they're playing. They see they can have an AI help them on how to play. I would like some kind of warning, I don't care how you do it, that this is just for campaign play. Do not use AI in real games against humans. Like, I don't care how you word it. I just like some kind of warning there to make sure you distinguish that what you're playing right now isn't in any way a serious competitive game. And features like this, where you're getting AI help, should absolutely not be done in in competitive human play. Right? I like that little separation, warning, whatever. Because regardless, you have to admit we are living in a world where people do cheat online, and we've had a few even cheat professionally. So, kind of like that little warning there, you know? Alright, that aside, now let's jump to the end of the game. Alright, so here we are at the end of the game. This is kind of what you can kind of get a sense of what I've been telling you about the textures. Like, it's probably taking you a half second to figure out, like, what everything is, like, kind of identifying what stones are what, where things are connected and where they aren't. What's interesting, though, is the minute you turn this down to, let's see, where is the graphics? Here we go. The minute you turn this down to something even like a 720p thing, like the minute you turn this actually like down to a smaller thing, the stones pop out more. Like if you were looking at this in full screen, if you're watching this video in full screen, then what you'll notice is the minute I went from a full screen board to a smaller board, these stones really popped out more because you're not noticing the gray as much on the white stones or the black stones. So, like, there's more of a contrast as a result. So you kind of tell that between, like, here, for example, where maybe looking at this screen at this size compared to, again, compared to something like this, where it's taking a little bit longer compared to, again, the high contrast where everything is just much more natural. So that's that. Now, that said, after we're done with the game here, what do we do then? Well, we can go to the campaign home screen. There is a thing here. It's a little bit less obvious on what to do now. Like, there is a campaign home button. I think maybe it should be highlighted in some fashion after the game's done, because I've seen a lot of people who have played this or streamed it on Twitch been a little bit uncertain what to do after a game, because there's no obvious kind of trick to call your eye to what you're supposed to do next. So I think maybe they even like having this blinking with the shadow, like I'm hovering over it right now, could definitely help you. But yeah, there needs to be something calling your attention to the fact that you should go to the campaign home screen to continue your campaign. Like, I know it sounds like it's not obvious, but it seems to be an issue. So that would definitely be something that I would put into the thing. All right, so now that we've done that, we've got this territory for ourselves. Again, not really obvious what to do next. If you click here, like, you don't want to start a match again, and you might not want to review it. So, like, what do you do from here? How do you get more resources? Well, you actually have to go back into it. Oh, God. You actually have to go back into it. Apologize for this. I don't have anything to change the theme on this one. And then you see some things that are blinking, calling your attention to them, which is good. That's good. We've got wood here, so we can go ahead and grab wood. Great. We got more wood now. Stone. Cool. Get more stone now. This area does not seem to be very rife with wheat, because it seems to be like a rocky, snowy area that we just took over. So, okay, great. No wheat for us, but we did get some stone and some wood. Fantastic. Now you'll also notice these little blinky points here. And what these are is the AI trying to draw our attention to what it thinks some of the worst moves that we played were in this game. You'll also notice that there's no white stones on this board anymore. And we've got these little itty-bitty homes popping up because we took control of the area, so it's populating the area. People like move in and mine and do other stuff, I guess. But yeah, if we click on one of those, beware sound. That also needs to go. During review mode, for the love of God, don't do that. Maybe if you want the audio cue, have it spaced out like do, 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 or something, but not every move. Holy crap, that's huge. But yeah, you can see the highlighted move, this one here. Played at G11, this one here. Resulted in an estimated match score of 17.18. Compared to the AI's top recommendation, this resulted in a score loss of 10 points. Ooh, what's the best move then? The best move was to kill the one on the right-hand side. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, okay, I grant. Capping this area here, is probably the best move. So you can see how you can kind of review that. You use this to kind of learn in sort of a fun way with the campaign, right? You're taking over control of an area. Wish it was multiplayer. Cough, cough. And you can use the AI to figure out, maybe moves you should have played instead. So, cool. For those of you who are interested in AI reviews and things like that, fantastic. It's got a nice little fun way to try to learn and get better at Go. All right, great. I like it. For those of you who are into things, I like it. Then we play here. Estimated score is to be a better move, resulted in a match score of 27.87. One of the moves the AI found during review. This move had a rank of 1. Okay, great. Now, one thing that's kind of annoying is, once again, how do we get back to the campaign screen? Like, if we look at the screen right now, nothing is really obvious and jumping out as to how to go back and continue our campaign, or to look at the next move, because there were 3 there, right? How do we do these things? How do we do these things? And it's not obvious, so I think it needs to be a little bit more cleaned up on the whole UI thing. Like, is it the undo button here? No. That didn't do anything. See? That reload file button was definitely not it, and now the entire... Oh, now we can go from here. Okay. That reloads the game, but it doesn't help us with the review at all. So, again, not obvious. How you have to do that is you have to go back to the campaign. As far as I can tell, if there's an easier way, I didn't find it. I have to go back to the campaign, then I have to go back into here all over again, and then click on the next one that I haven't clicked on yet, which is one of these 2. So, okay. So that's that. And it looks like from here I can't go back to the campaign menu. Oh yeah, I can. Exit that out. Okay, cool. So if I need wheat, I have to go and take over one of these. That way I can still keep getting recommendations and whatnot. If I want more wood, we can fight over one of these. You get the idea. You get the idea. So it's a fun, cool little campaign thingy. Now, I do want to reassure you, because you might remember, there's an online play, right? Don't worry. Those things, those features are not in the online play thing. Okay? If we get a game on OGS, I cannot pay wheat and stone or whatever else to get AI suggestions. Those don't exist. I double-checked that on stream. It's just standard... it's just your standard game, right? Similar to this. You'd have the chat, you'd have the what each player is, and you'd be able to play. You'd still be able to choose what theme you want, though. Right? You'd have the theme, and that's as far as that goes. So, no cheating there. Sweet. So, overall, it's Conquest of Go is a cute little program. I think they have a lot of work to do still ahead of them to make it a little bit better, give it some polish. I think the game does. I think this program does need a fair bit of polish, definitely. But I mean, if you're interested in AI stuff, or you're playing on OGS all the time, and these themes do strike your fancy, then yeah, probably could be worth the $15. If you're not interested in AI at all, and you're not interested in the themes, and you don't play on OGS, then you probably want to give this a hard pass. I mean, it's cute, but definitely not for you. Definitely not for you. You have to really be interested in one or all of those things to really pick up the Conquest of Go. So there's my review of the Conquest of Go, and for those of you who were unaware, maybe are a little bit more aware of what all the hubbub's about, and maybe able to make a decision on whether or not this is something that is for you or not. I look forward to checking back in, I don't know, a couple of months, I guess, when they've had time to work some more on it and see what they do, what they add, what they don't add, and how the little program continues to evolve. If you have grabbed this for yourself and you are enjoying it, do let me know in the comments down below. Are you using it mainly for the campaign? Are you using it mainly for OGS? I'd be interested to hear how you guys are using said program. Till then, I'll see you next time. Take care, buddy.